Hey everybody, Sefki here. You know, growing up our parents were basically our own personal Wikipedias. If Wikipedia was full of made-up facts and questionable advice. Remember those dinners where they'd drop some wisdom like it was a hot potato? Eat your vegetables, they'll make you big and strong. Don't swallow your gum, it'll stay in your stomach for 7 years. Yeah, we all fell for it. But as we got older we started to realize, some of that stuff was total baloney. So, what were the biggest whoppers they fed us? Here are 10 lies our parents told us. Eat your carrots, they'll improve your eyesight. How many times did you hear that one growing up? My mom used to say it like carrots were magic goggles. And I'd eat them up, picturing myself shooting lasers out of my eyes like Superman. But here's the thing, while carrots are good for your eyes, they've got vitamin A, which is important for eye health, they won't actually give you superhuman vision. Turns out my parents just wanted me to eat my veggies. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, this one's more of a superstition than a lie, but come on, we all remember it. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. First of all, what kind of messed up curse is that? Poor mom, just trying to enjoy her day, and I'm out here dodging sidewalk cracks like it's an obstacle course. Of course, stepping on a crack didn't actually do anything, but you know what? It made walking down the street a lot more interesting. We were basically playing a real-life video game, avoiding lava pits of doom disguised as sidewalk cracks. This one still makes me gag a little. Don't swallow your gum. It'll stay in your stomach for 7 years. 7 years! Like my stomach was some kind of chewing gum graveyard. I imagined this giant sticky glob just chilling in my gut, refusing to digest. Turns out our bodies are a little smarter than that. While gum itself isn't digestible, who'd have thought? It doesn't just hang out in your stomach forever. It passes through your system like everything else, just a little less gracefully. So go ahead, swallow your gum. Just kidding, don't. It's still gross. Chapter 4. Report Card Reality Check. Ah, the report card. That little piece of paper that can make or break your day, your week, or even your entire school year. Oh boy, this one's a classic. If you fail this class, you'll fail in life. We've all heard it, right? The dreaded warning that if you don't get that A, your future is doomed. Remember that pressure cooker of parental expectations? The one that makes you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders every time you sit down to study. Suddenly, that D in algebra wasn't just a bad grade, it was a one-way ticket to failure town. It felt like the end of the world, like you'd never recover from it. Look, getting good grades is important, but it's not the be-all and end-all of life. Sure, they can open doors, but they don't define who you are or what you're capable of achieving. Plenty of successful people didn't ace every test. In fact, many of them struggled in school but found their passion and worked hard to achieve their dreams. What matters more is finding your passion, working hard, and being a good person. Your grades are just one part of the puzzle, not the whole picture, so next time you see your old report cards, don't freak out. Instead, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come and what you've learned along the way. Unless you got all Fs. In that case, maybe it's time to reassess your study habits and seek some help. Then you might want to panic a little. But remember, even then, it's not the end of the world. There's always a way to turn things around and improve. Seek out resources, talk to your teachers, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Everyone struggles at some point, and it's okay to need a little extra support. And don't forget to explore your interests outside of academics. Join clubs, play sports, volunteer, and find what makes you happy. These experiences are just as valuable as your grades. In the end, it's about balance. Strive for good grades, but also make time for the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Your report card is just one chapter in your story, not the whole book. So take a deep breath and remember that your worth isn't defined by a letter on a piece of paper. It's defined by your character, your efforts, and your passions. Keep pushing forward and you'll find your path to success. Chapter 5. Knuckles and the Case of the Creaky Joints. Stop cracking your knuckles, you'll get arthritis. This was my grandma's favorite. Every pop and crack sent her into a frenzy. But guess what? Cracking your knuckles doesn't actually cause arthritis. That popping sound is just gas bubbles being released in your joints. It's totally harmless, even if it sounds like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Now, I'm not saying you should go around cracking your knuckles like you're trying to win a beatboxing competition, but if you need to relieve some tension, go for it. Your grandma will get over it, eventually. Chapter 6, the TV Turnip Theory. Turn off that TV, it'll rot your brain. How many times have we heard that growing up? It's almost like a rite of passage for every child. Ah, the good old TV is the enemy lecture. It's a classic, isn't it? Parents have been giving this speech for generations. Look, I get it. Too much screen time isn't great for you. We all know that spending hours glued to a screen isn't the healthiest habit. But saying it'll rot your brain is a bit dramatic, don't you think? It's like they're imagining our brains turning into mushy vegetables. It's like they thought our brains were made of potatoes or something. Can you imagine? A brain made of turnips or potatoes, just sitting there getting all mushy? In moderation, TV can be entertaining and even educational. There are so many shows out there that can teach us new things and expand our horizons. Remember Bill Nye the Science Guy? Dude was a legend. He made science fun and accessible for kids everywhere. So yeah, maybe put down the remote once in a while and engage in other activities. It's all about balance. But don't be afraid to enjoy a good show. There's nothing wrong with relaxing and watching something you love. Just try not to end up on one of those reality TV shows. Those can be a bit much, and let's be honest, they don't always show the best side of humanity. Those will actually rot your brain. Seriously, some of those shows are just mind-numbing. Instead, why not mix it up? Play a board game, read a book, or go outside and get some fresh air. There are so many ways to spend your time, and when you do watch TV, choose something that makes you think, something that sparks a conversation. Documentaries, educational programs, even well-made dramas can be enriching. And let's not forget the joy of a good comedy or a family movie night. Laughter and shared experiences are just as important. It's all about setting limits and making conscious choices. Enjoy your screen time, but don't let it take over your life. So next time someone tells you that TV will rot your brain, just smile and remember, it's all about balance. Enjoy your shows, but don't forget to live your life too. Chapter 7. The Hot Drink Height Hoax. This one always seemed a little random. Don't drink that hot chocolate, it'll stunt your growth. Like, what's the connection there? Did they think hot drinks shrunk your bones or something? Turns out this is another myth with no scientific backing. Your height is mostly determined by genetics, not your beverage choices. So go ahead, enjoy that cup of cocoa. Extra marshmallows, please. Chapter 8. The Milk-Induced Nightmare Myth. Don't drink milk before bed, you'll have nightmares. Okay, this one might be more about bedtime discipline than anything else, like, we're trying to get you to sleep here, kid, stop asking for snacks. But seriously, is there any truth to this? Nope. Milk is actually a good source of tryptophan, which can help you sleep better. So if anything, a warm glass of milk before bed might actually give you dreams, or at least prevent you from waking up in the middle of the night demanding cookies. Chapter 9. Cold Weather Conundrums. Put on a jacket or you'll catch a cold. This one always seemed a little backward. Like, it's not the cold weather that makes you sick, it's the germs. You can't just catch a cold from standing outside in the winter. It's not like the cold air is filled with tiny ninjas armed with tissues and cough drops. So while bundling up in the winter is always a good idea, frostbite is no joke. Don't blame the cold weather for your sniffles. Blame it on your germy little brother. He's probably the real culprit. Chapter 10. The Sugar Rush Showdown. And finally, the granddaddy of them all, you're gonna turn into a sugar-crazed monster. This is the warning that echoes through the halls of every birthday party and Halloween night. Parents, grandparents, and even older siblings have all used this line at some point. Every kid has heard this one, usually right before a birthday party or Halloween. It's almost like a rite of passage. The anticipation of the event, the costumes, the decorations, and of course the candy. It's a magical time for children filled with excitement and joy, and sure, we've all witnessed the aftermath of a sugar binge. Kids with frosting smeared on their faces, slumped over in a sugar coma, surrounded by the remnants of their sugary feast. It's a scene that's all too familiar to many parents. But studies have shown that the link between sugar and hyperactivity is mostly a myth. Researchers have conducted numerous studies and found that sugar doesn't actually cause hyperactivity in children. It's a surprising revelation for many, but the science is clear. It's more likely that kids are just excited about the occasion, not the candy itself. The thrill of the party, the games, the presents, and the company of friends all contribute to their heightened energy levels. It's the overall experience that gets them all riled up. So let the kids have their cake and eat it too. Celebrations are meant to be enjoyed, and a little indulgence in sweets is part of the fun. After all, these moments create lasting memories for children, just maybe not all at once. Moderation is key. While it's okay to let them enjoy their treats, it's also important to teach them about balance and self-control. We've all seen what happens when you eat too much cake. It ain't pretty. The stomach aches, the sugar crashes, and the mess that follows can be quite the ordeal. So let's make sure the fun doesn't turn into a fiasco. Enjoy the sweets, but remember to savor them slowly. Outrow Parenting, a masterclass in white lies? So there you have it, 10 lies our parents told us. Were they trying to deceive us, or just trying to protect us from the harsh realities of the world and the horrors of swallowing gum? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, it's all part of growing up. And hey, at least they gave us something to laugh about now. Thanks for the material, Mom and Dad.